All right, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Rob.
Thank you very much. It is so heartening to see so many people here on a night when all of us could be at home watching Donald Trump on TV talking about the Southern Wall. And instead, we've all opted to come here and share our experience and expertise around the greater good and building community. And honestly, if that's the only trend that comes out of tonight for 2019, I'm completely on board. Sign me up. The idea of choosing one trend to encapsulate an entire year feels a little bit daunting, especially given that we're talking about a very rapidly changing, complex, multifaceted arena. I came very close to deciding to talk about blockchain-enabled, AI-driven, virtual reality powered, personalized self-driving skateboards, but I was worried that everybody else would be talking about the same subject. The other problem with those, of course, is that they aren't real. And things that aren't real is what I would actually like to talk about tonight. The last few years have been a crash course in fake, and just how much of our online experience is being faked for our benefit, or more often, unfortunately, for our detriment. We have encountered, of course, the world of fake news, generated by everybody from state actors to apparently teenagers in Macedonia trying to drive clicks. We have had fake memes generated by state intelligence agencies, fake comments on consultations about network neutrality, fake people who are trying to friend you and engage with you online and help enlist you in their campaigns of fakery. In short, we have been learning just how inauthentic the online experience can be. And sometimes all that means is you're left with a bit of a bad taste in your mouth. Sometimes it means that you're defrauded. Sometimes it means that elections are manipulated or that public affairs end up being sabotaged and undermined. But the net result of it is that at the very time when we have been driving civil conversation and civil society into the online space, our ability to trust what goes on there is declining. And that should be worrisome to nonprofits. It should be worrisome to pretty much anybody who has a stake in what goes on in the online world and in civil society that we're building. And the problem isn't just limited to what we're seeing now. We have looming technologies like deep fakes, the ability to create media that looks exactly like the real thing. Images, audio, video that look like prominent public individuals doing or saying things they would find abhorrent. All of it created with nefarious means in mind for entertainment and points between. How realistic is it? That isn't really Eli. My point is, we have a very serious challenge ahead of us. And in an era of inauthenticity, at the very time that we are trying to organize online, find support online, collaborate online, build society online, trust is eroding. And our ability to have trusted relationships and trusted interactions, that's eroding as well. Now, that's a problem for everything from e-commerce to conducting elections to just being sure that your privacy is being maintained. But it has special resonance for nonprofits because trust is the lifeblood for nonprofit organizations. It is what allows collaboration to happen online. It's what allows supporters to feel a sense of loyalty and connection to organizations. It's what allows the community and the sense of community that you develop online to flourish and foster and grow. Without that trust, that diminishes dramatically. And unfortunately, we have, over the past several years, developed a whole bunch of technologies that undermine that trust, but serve good, helpful, productive functions. Everything from scheduling tweets to templated emails to micro-targeting. Things that mimic human relationships and mimic human connection, but that every once in a while either land in that uncanny valley sense that something's not quite right or just outright fail. And the technology does always at some point fail. And you realize that what you may have thought was human connection was actually something that was being manipulated. For a good cause, yes, but it was still being manipulated. That is why people are so unhappy when they get a message from you that says, "Dear first name, last name." It's why they get upset if they can't get a beloved dead relative off your mailing list. It's why they get upset when an organization that they thought they had a genuine connection to turns out to not be reciprocal. So in 2019 and the years beyond, I think the task ahead of us is also a call to action. The task, if we want to defend what we're building online, and if we want to defend the relationships we're building there, is to reinforce the authentic side of the business. And sometimes that is going to mean letting go a little bit of some of the really handy, useful, God help us, cost-saving technologies that we've been using. But it's not just a question of letting go of things, it's also a question of embracing things to the point where we can start fostering genuine conversations online. Conversations that, yes, may cost a little more in time and attention and resources, but that actually start to build deeper relationships. Then the contrast with the inauthentic will grow. And for nonprofits, that's especially important because we don't just care about the organizations that we're building, although that is near and dear, I'm sure, to your hearts. But we also care about the kind of society we're building. So as we are building more authentic conversations and more authentic connections with supporters, let's also start building them among supporters and across divides, across organizations, across divides of opinion, across divides of perspective and demographics. We can use the trust that we've earned with supporters and with the public to help push back against the forces of fake. Because make no doubt, they aren't going away. They are only going to be ramping up their work. And whether you believe that the real villain of the piece are state actors or manipulations from the public relations side, some nebulous idea of hackers, or whatever, there are people who are very vested in the success of fake and in undermining trust. Our responsibility is to push back against that. We have an opportunity here to answer the question, are you a robot? And to answer that not just for organizations, not just for our relationships with supporters, but to help people start answering that to each other as well. And that, to me, is the most important work in 2019. Thank you very much.
Thank you.